Next up is on crude as well. This is a reversal pattern. Now what I want you guys to see here on crude is that we had just taken this breaker pattern short, right? This was the previous trade we took. Now keep an eye though, this is a 13 range chart, okay, similar to a 5 or a 7-minute chart. Now our scalp was taken on a 4 range chart, similar to a 1 to a 3-minute chart. Okay, so you can see these are two very different time frames. The 13 range chart is very popular with members because it's very easy to enter, slower pace patterns. You'll get 3 or 4 great patterns every day in every market. Now this is a 2-step pattern, which means we were going to bounce off these lows, right? Come down, bounce off the lows, and then reverse off those lows, and we're looking to be a buyer. So we break above the blue line, we break above the swing high, right there. We had enough room before we ran into the overhead previous level of 93. So of course at 81s here, we're buying a break above that swing high. We had enough room overhead, right? We had at least our 10 ticks of room. At 909 here on crude, this is again on the slower time frame chart. We took 2 off at 4, 1 off at 8, and 1 off at 2. That's 18 ticks or 180 USD. So in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes here, we grabbed 10 ticks on the breaker short scalp, and then we of course made 18 ticks now, got the second target filled on the 2-step long, bouncing off the low of day. All right, let's keep going. Next up here, we get the Russell. Now the Russell, of course, very easy pattern. We didn't get much movement out of the Russell today, though, but the Russell really did us well earlier on this week. Short-term trend up. We mark our swing high. We break above that swing high. 10:07 was the time. We had just made ourselves outside the U.S. Open. 641 was the fill. 2 off at 4. Plus your 3 guys, 11 ticks there or 110 USD. So as you can see, big difference today between yesterday and today. Yesterday we averaged about 30 ticks per trade. Now we're averaging about 11 ticks per trade. So you can always see very easily right away, very different market. And then finally here's our loss on crude. Now this was kind of a bittersweet loss here because you can see the move clearly worked out. We just didn't have enough volume in the market. It was just so slow at this time, and I was talking about this to you guys in the room today. I like to take these higher risk trades in the room because it demonstrates for you guys what can be done with these patterns. Now in this example though, we had very low volume. In fact, we had a couple reasons why we didn't want to take this trade. Remember we talked about it? We had low volume. What was the other reason? It took 20 minutes to trigger, right? It took way too long to trigger. And then you'll notice up top here, we never actually tested the extremes. Okay, so it was not at the extremes. All right, so those were the 3 reasons before I took this trade, right? And I was laughing afterwards because I should have taken my own advice. Okay, very low volume. It took way too long for this thing to trigger. Okay, if it takes more than 5 or 10 minutes, guys, that's way too long. And of course, we didn't test the extremes. Okay, I want to come up and I literally need to hit my extremes. Okay, so for a 2-step, I'm going to come up, test those highs, then pull back, right? Then look for the break of the lows for the 2-step short. Now what we saw here was, right, we saw the level down here, we got only about 3/4 of the way. We never got all the way, right? And that was the big difference, right? We want to get all the way up the top, right? Test those extremes and then push off. Because what's happening is the buyers are going to completely exhaust themselves. They're going to run out of gas. They'll run out of momentum. The sellers will be able to grab that thing and pull it back down. Okay, so that's what was the big concerns there, of course, on this trade here on crude. Okay, and again, it worked out wonderfully, right? But obviously, with us not in the market, a little bit of a problem there, of course, right? 1038 on the crude, 2-step pattern short. We're going to break to the upside. Right, bounce off these highs, mark up our swing low, and there's your break below the swing low. A 2-step pattern short, 74.74 was the fill. We got out at 74.77. Okay, 3 times 4 is 12, minus 12 ticks or 120 USD. So we gave back 12, and at this point in the morning, we were thinking to ourselves, okay, time to go into capital preservation mode because it's a Friday. The last thing I want to do is have to tell my husband or my wife or my friends this weekend, right, why I'm not buying pizza on Saturday night because I gave back all my money at the market on Friday afternoon. So I really had to be careful now not to keep doing this. I didn't want to take another loss here. So it's time to go into capital preservation mode and make sure we manage our trades properly and make sure we really be patient for one of the best trades here. All right, guys. So we lost 120 bucks there. Not too bad though, obviously. Nice tight stop. Always keeps those losses to a minimum. Then the last trade we took today, guys, 11.14 on the euro. Now the euro, we've been waiting for the DX pattern all day, but we never got it to work. The dollar broke its highs, so we didn't get any action in the euro until late in the morning here. We come down. We test, of course, the low of day. We start breaking right through the low of day. We mark up our swing low. We break below that swing low. There's your breaker pattern short. 20.64 was the fill. We took 2 off at 4. 2 off at 2, 8 plus 2 is 10, 125 guys because it's 12.50 per tick. So we got 10 ticks out of it, $125 on the euro for our final trade of the morning, final trade of the week. And of course, what a great week, guys. We did $395 today. We did over $5,000 for the week this week, guys. Only 4 contracts. Guys, I don't know any trader out there that doesn't like making $5,000 on only 4 lots, right? Not a bad week at all. Now, Monday, June 14th, we have no news scheduled for Monday morning. We have our tips and tricks webinar, though, at 11:30. So make sure you guys are here for 11:30, guys, on Monday morning for that webinar. We will probably see some pretty slow price action early in the morning, but that should, of course, develop into a tradable market. But no news on Monday means we may see things still being pretty slow. We'll have to see what happens. Now, again, on Monday morning, guys, we'll open up at 7:45 a.m. We do webinars next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The beginner's course is filled with all the basic fundamentals you need to learn with us. And then the advanced course uses those fundamentals to make a nice, hefty profit every day in our live trade room. Once again, my name is Joseph James. Hope the video helps, guys. Of course, big game on Sunday night, guys. Go Celtics, right? And, of course, see you guys back here on Monday morning. Hopefully, we have another great week next week. Don't miss a tick, guys. Keep in touch. I'll be working all weekend. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye for now.